Hello, everyone. This is Coach Fierros, your PE teacher. All right. In this lesson, we're working on our SMART Goals packet for PE on pages 14 and 15. So go ahead and get your PE packet and go to page 14. All right. So in this lesson, you will be able to tell the difference between a short and long-term goal. Now, before we move on, make sure that you have completed the following pages before completing this lesson, and that's page 9 and page 13. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go and watch the videos for Smart Goals Packet on page 9 and page 13. All these videos are on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Coach Fierros. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now you're going to know the difference between a short term goal and a long term goal. Let's look for the examples for short term time bound goals. Okay, now whenever you want to make a short term goal, okay, it has to be either weekly, monthly, bi monthly, 3 months, or 6 months. Now, that means that every time you want to make a goal, okay, now if it's something that you want to do by the end of the week, or by the end of the month, or by the end of the 2 month period, or by the end of the 3 month period, or by the end of a 6 month period, that will be considered a short term goal. And I'm going to give you some examples of a short term goal in a few minutes. Now, examples of a long term time bound goal will be more than 6 months. Okay, it could be a year. Okay, it could be 8 months. Now, if you make a goal, okay, over 1 year, okay, then sometimes people lose track of their goals by making a goal that is more than a year. Okay, so I highly suggest that you do not make any goals that are go above a year. All right. So here are some examples of short-term and long-term SMART goals. Okay, let's look at the short-term SMART goals. There are millions of examples of a short-term SMART goals, but I'm just giving you five right now. Okay. Now, as an example of a short-term SMART goal could be like exercising more, right? Staying active, read more, okay? Participate in sports, and then spend more time with family and friends. Okay. Those are just some five examples of a short-term SMART goal. Can you come up with an example of a short-term SMART goal? Okay, now let's look at an example of long-term SMART goals. Okay. Now, an example of a long-term SMART goal would be from graduate from middle school. Okay, let's say if you're an eighth grader, okay, that could be a long-term SMART goal because you're gonna graduate in less than a year. Now, attend college, okay, it's really a long term from now, okay, but you could make some small goals that are going to build towards a big goal, and that is attend college, if that makes any sense. Okay, so for example, you could start making short term goals like read more, participate in sports, okay. Now, those two, if you always continue to make those short term goals, then that could build towards you making the long-term goal, which is attending college. Okay. An example also of a long-term SMART goal could be playing sports in high school. Okay. Now, it depends how old or what grade you're in. But if you're in eighth grade, okay, start making that long-term goal. If you're in sixth and seventh grade, then start making short-term goals that are going to build towards that long-term goal. Earn a high school diploma. For you, that's like about 4, 5, 6, or 7 years away, right? That's a long time from now. But start making short-term goals. Okay, like for example, study more or reading more. Okay, like things that are going smart short-term goals that are going to build towards that long-term goal. Okay, learning how to drive. You're like about 3 or 4 years away from getting your own car. Who knows? Or getting your driver's license. Who knows? Okay, but what short-term goals can you make so you can accomplish this long-term goal? Okay? Well, maybe, learning how to turn on the car about 3 days a week. Okay? Maybe taking a driving test. Okay, it's a multiple choice written test, so that way you know the directions of, you know, on how to drive instead of, before you get on the steering wheel. Right? You never know. Okay, a long term goal could be completing a marathon. Okay, that could be a long time from now. But what short term goals can you make so you can meet this long term goal? Okay, how about training 3 days a week? Okay, that could be a short term goal that's going to build towards that long term goal. Okay, learning a different language, that's a long term goal. Okay, but what short term goals can you make to learn a different language? Okay, maybe, for example, taking a Spanish class or taking a French class. Okay? Hanging around with, people that know a different language. And how often can you spend time with them so you can learn a different language? Okay, so all these long-term goals, you need to make short-term goals based around those, so that way you can meet those long-term goals. So now you're going to do pages 14 and 15 on your packet. Okay, now that's a SMART goal quiz. So that means that you're going to answer the questions on pages 14 and 15. On pages 14 and 15, you're basically going to you're going to go ahead and circle the correct answer, or your best answer. Okay. What does SMART stand for? It's basically a review from the previous two lessons. And also, you're going to tell me examples of a long and short term